Hello, everyone. Welcome. So, today we're going to be talking about the solar eclipse coming on March 29th. For some of you, it'll be March 30th. And I wanted to talk about how it's going to go in each sign. So, what may be coming up for you, and talk about what solar eclipses are altogether. Yeah, so stick around. Here we go. All right. So everybody kind of knows what a or eclipses are and what they mean, but let's talk a little bit about that. So eclipses, a solar eclipse specifically, because that's what we're having on March 29th or 30th, which wherever you are in the world, it's when the sun, when the moon is going to be right aligned with the sun on us, on Earth, right? And so you'll see like a solar eclipse. It's like, to me, it goes to 0 point energy and it's a reset, right? Eclipses are destined. They have the energy of fate, destiny, and it's almost like a reset to put you back on track to your uh, life path, right? Or one of your life paths, right? So if you think about it, as the moon eclipses, as the moon comes in front of the sun, and we kind of go to darkness, when it starts becoming light again, we're at that. As it's dark, we're at that 0 point energy, and then when it becomes light again, it's like it's reset each one of us and the energy to our, because we have lots of paths to an important path. That there are points in our life where uh, we're destined to do certain things, right? Or be certain way. So that's kind of what an eclipse is. Well, with eclipses, because they're tied to the moon, we usually have people, some of us do rituals, some of us do steps, some of us do whatever you call it, right? And with these, you're welcome to do those, but it's not, from my point of view, and this is my personal belief, it's not needed because it's destined anyway. It's fated. And I'll attach one of my videos where I explained how much I tried to mess up one of my eclipses and it just wouldn't. I was meant to do that thing that I was meant to do, right? So that's kind of what happens. Now, if you are aware, awakened, and a lot of people are, and conscious of making your choices and really trying to understand uh, how your life is going, and you are directing your life instead of life just directing you, um, then you're going to be closer to your destiny, right? Then if you're ignoring the red flags, keeping your head down, don't want to be a part of anything, just kind of letting life happen to you, okay? So when people say, is it going to be good or bad? I don't know. That's up to you, right? How do you perceive it? This is through your perception and through your lens. But this is almost like, you can think of it like a safety net that didn't matter what choices you made, it was always going to bring you back to this part. Okay. So that's a little bit about eclipses, solar eclipses specifically. When you have a solar eclipse, we had the lunar eclipse just recently. I mean, I'm recording this on the 13th, so we haven't had the lunar eclipse yet, but that energy's already started. I'm already hearing from clients and from people of things going on, and our group is usually pretty close to the date, if not sooner than the dates that we talk about in astrology. So it's already happening. There's some releasing, letting go. If, by the way, if you're interested in going deeper in this deep dive of all of these energies here that's going on, hold on a second, let me make sure. Sorry, my pointer. All of these energies here going on. That's why you want to join my membership. I would consider joining it. This is where I do deep dives and really, really help you understand per your sign. So right now, I released what's going on in the month of March, but more deeply, what's going on from now until 2026, where these are really important transits that are happening. And so I did it per sign, where I delved deep into the houses and what they mean. So if you want to join, just hit that join button down there. It's only $4.99 a month, and you can quit at any time. Um, so back to the eclipses. So we're going to have this. solar eclipse on the 29th or the 30th. The lunar eclipse is about releasing, it's about closure, it's about um, letting go to make room for what's coming. And what's coming is the solar eclipse. Now, the lunar eclipse, I found personally with clients and everybody around me that the lunar eclipse energy lasts um it lasts up to 6 months, but I've seen it like finish out at 4 months usually, right? Now there are always some stragglers and there's always somebody at the end, right? And I've seen it play out on the last day of the 6 month of the lunar eclipse. Okay, but that doesn't happen often, but it can happen. Just know that. So this energy of the lunar eclipse is all the way for 6 months, but I would say from now to 4 months, right? And the reason I say now, even though it's the 13th, is it's already playing out with some people. I've already had, and we've got Uranus, um, influencing this lunar eclipse. So with Uranus influencing the lunar eclipse, there is some jerking, there is some like shock, there is some like, oh my God. Yeah. So anyway, with the solar eclipse, because you've released or you're releasing or as you release here in this Virgo house, right, for you, uh, because of the room you're making and releasing, there are some gifts, there are some opportunities, there are some new starts, new way to, and because it's an Aries, it's a new way of our identity, right? We've had Chiron here in this house of Aries. We had been with the North Node for 18 months working on our identity in this area of life. Now that this area is different for everybody, right? So depends on where Aries is in your chart, what sign you are. And there's some closing out here, a new way as Neptune and then Saturn's going to come and Venus is going to come. Mercury is going to go this way and then he's going to come back with Venus this way. So there are some endings already happening, but it has to do with the way that we want to identify in this area of life for ourselves, right? With Chiron there, this has been really difficult. It tells me for everybody, their Aries house has been difficult because of this Chiron. It's like, and some of you were born like myself with Chiron in Aries. So it's like, I want to be able to identify, but for some reason, there's restrictions. I can't get to it. I'm going to hurt people. I'm going to, whatever. It's different things for different people. So I won't go that deeply into it. That's what my membership is for. But just know that there is this wound here. And this wound is different than the psychological wound of Pluto. Okay. So this wound, I've explained it many times, but I'll explain it again. This wound is not, it doesn't mean, when I say this, it doesn't mean there's never any healing. This wound is not meant to be completely healed. This wound is meant for you to learn to work with it through this wound, and then when you learn to work with it, and it's not so sore anymore, and you've understood, had acceptance and understanding of it, um, it drives you or you have this compassion to want to help others with that, right? And so you'll find as you're healing that wound, you'll see other people around you with that same wound and suffering, or a wound like that and suffering, and you want to help them because you know the answer by that time, right? That's the Chiron wound. Well, there is something not just in our personal life, but on a societal level with this transit on a societal level of our identity, right? And so we had been trying to figure out, trying to understand more about how we wanted to identify here with this North Node being here when it was here for the 18 months. It is now in Pisces, right? So, but now that we know a little bit more about how we want to identify, there are some things that we need to close out, relax, let go, move through, understand, right? And that is where that solar eclipse came. And now it's the lunar eclipse came. Now it's the solar eclipse. Now it's time for you, as you release these things and as you make more room in your energy field, you will begin to get gifts. You will begin to have opportunities. You will begin to have miracles happen for some of you. Um, and it's at this 9 degree. So if you have a planet here, that changes the conversation a little about how that gift is, how that new identity is, how that new beginning is, right? This is a new phase in your life of how you're wanting to identify for this part of your life, right? So without going too far deep into it, that's basically what the solar eclipse is. Now, the solar eclipse, that energy is for the next 6 months as well. So, what I've understood by looking at clients and the experience that I have, as you're releasing and closing some phase out here, um, yeah, I was just looking at Uranus as I was saying that. As you're releasing and closing this phase out here, you're going to be uh, starting new things, starting new ways, starting new understandings, starting new beginnings, starting new something. Some of you may be moving, some of you may be new jobs, some of you may be changing positions in your job, some of you, uh, it just kind of depends on where Aries is in your chart, okay? We have Uranus here who is definitely a key player in that lunar eclipse. So he will make you move. What Uranus is trying to do is give you freedom in Taurus. So he wants you to have the sense of security and freedom. We have been working with Uranus for a while now in Taurus. We had resources taken away, we had things taken away, we had relationships taken away, we had lots of stuff taken away, right? And it was or we had him given it. Either way, it went both ways, right? Here, or he gave it to us, and this was so that you understood your worthiness, your resourcefulness, and that there's not a finite of resources, right? He's still teaching us that, but that's basically what he's doing. He's trying to help Taurus or that area of your life understand that that there's no need for you to feel like you're chained or tied down, right? Like you have this freedom to do and be what you want. And even if you didn't have some resources, you made the resources from nothing, right? So as he continues, he's going to be moving into Gemini. And I'll talk about that in another video. My April video is coming up soon too. So we'll talk about Uranus then. But he's a key player in this when he was doing as he's doing the lunar eclipse. So he likes to do it by shock and awe. So he will jerk something around. He will he'll move things in the way that you don't even see it coming, right? So he's a shock and awe. He loves that shock and awe. Okay. And it's all to get you to understand your freedom. That's what Uranus is trying to get you to do, is understand your personal freedom, like our freedom in society, our freedom with ourselves, right? And our freedom with the people around us. Because it's in Taurus, he wants the sense of security through the freedom. Does that make sense? So with this new moon, basically, but it's an eclipse, that we're going to go to 0 point energy, which is going to reset us, right? So on that day, there is this, with the solar eclipse, there is a sextile with Jupiter, right? So a sextile is an opportunity. There is an opportunity. So Uranus is trying to help you understand your freedom. Jupiter is helping you understand your wisdom through your experiences, and your experience is not just in this life, right? Through your talents, and he gives you a lot of optimism, and he will give you luck and opportunity and blessings, right? But he also, the way he does it is to make everything bigger so you can see it correctly, right? So Even though he's optimistic, even though he brings you luck and blessings and all of that, he's wanting you to understand your wisdom. He's wanting you to understand that you do have this eternal, beyond the bounds wisdom, right? And so you have everything that you need within you to be what you want in this life, right? Does that make sense? So with this, and he's in Gemini right now, so we're seeing a lot of the social media and the media. He made that really pronounced, and then we get to decide through our wisdom, um, do we want that? Are they lying to us? Let me research, because we're in Gemini, right? Let me research. Let me do my own um, research. Let me do my own study to see how I really, really see things having to do with my everyday thing and my siblings around me and my neighbors, the people around me, and all of that has been highlighted in Gemini. That's Jupiter in Gemini. Well, he is sextiling this eclipse, which is an opportunity that's going to come your way having to do with this area of your life, right? So there is an opportunity coming your way for this solar eclipse, but it's going to be, because Jupiter makes everything pronounced, it may not look big to people on the outside, but you may see it very big. Like it may be very pronounced in your face, right? Because it's big. It's basically blown up so that you can see it correctly, so that you focus on it, right? So whatever this opportunity is, for some people it is going to be really big for you. And that's going to be occurring over the next 6 months. That's the energy. So all this energy that I'm talking about today is going to move forward for the next 6 months. Then we have where, as it's sextiling Jupiter, it's gonna semi square Uranus. Okay. And I just spoke about Uranus, right? What does Uranus want you to do? He wants you to have freedom. He wants you to understand your resources, how resourceful you are. He wants you to understand your worthiness, which right now is tied to that Chiron, right? Chiron in Aries is this wound about you not fitting in, not being able to be your own identity, what you've always wanted to be, what you always thought you could, or having some shame or some guilt about, like, I'm just not like everybody else. I'm not meant to be here. I'm not meant to be pronounced in this life. I'm not meant to, I just don't fit in, right? That's Chiron and Aries. And what you're learning is that you do have a place in this world. You are valid. You are worthy, right? That's what Chiron's trying to teach you. And because it is, uh, um, because this Uranus is semi-squared this um, eclipse, it's telling me that there's something. So it's not in the foreground; it's in the background. Semi-square is like a back and forth energy, but it's not focused on. It's not like right in your face, right? That would be a square. But a semi-square is sort of, okay, I got to handle this at some point, but I'm not looking at it, right? Well, when Uranus comes up in semi-squares, he's going to make you look, he's going to draw attention to it. Now, whether you decide to look at it and focus on it is up to you, right? But remember, it's a solar eclipse. So there is a change coming of the way that you are resourceful in the identity that you are trying to move into in this area of life. So, like, so let me say this again. So, let's just say the scenario. If you are identifying as someone, right? Like, I'm the one that never gets the partner. I've never been married. I can never find the right partner, blah blah blah, right? Like that's what you're identifying at. That's what you've been identifying as, right? This is just a scenario. But then you're coming here and you're realizing, you know what? I am worthy. I do belong on this earth. I do matter just like everybody else. Oh, there are other people that are happily married. So why can't I have that, right? And when you heal that and understand that and are growing in that, as we're doing with this solar eclipse, right? you're going to have the evidence, but there is this semi-square that you're like, maybe I could never have the freedom to have a partner because I'm so tied down with work and life, and I just don't have enough to like even sustain myself. And it's just harder and harder on this earth. And maybe as Uranus comes here and does the semi square, it's like, um, maybe you get this understanding. Maybe something comes in to show you that you don't need to be perfect to have the good relationship. You don't need to have everything in order in your life to be able to have somebody come in and love you, right? Maybe that's what you understand. Like that's just a scenario, right? In money, it would kind of be the same way, right? But whatever the scenario is for you, if there is a wound here that you have been trying to identify as and you can't get to it or you don't feel like it yet, when when this eclipse comes for the next 6 months, you're going to see evidence. Now, this is a semi-square, so it's something in the background that probably like the scenario I just said. It's just something that you were thinking of. Well, I've got to have this correct, and I've got to be this way, and I got to do that, and I got to look good, and I got to and I got to work on this, and I got you could be just overdoing it. Where Uranus comes and shows you with this semi-square, you don't have to have all your ducks in a row. Somebody can come in and love you for all your imperfections, right? Because why are you trying to be somebody that you're not? Does that make sense? Um, and with Mercury, they're retrograde, right? This is giving you the bravery, the courage. Yes, it is. There's going to be something delayed. It is the technology that's delayed, and you get the miscommunication and blah, blah, blah. And maybe you heard something incorrectly. And here comes Uranus to sort of clear that up. But it's up to you. Maybe what you heard like gives you maybe what you thought you heard because of miscommunication with Mercury gives you that same old like, "Ah, I just knew it. I knew I wasn't good enough. Oh, I just knew I wasn't," but the negative talk back, right? But Uranus is trying to help you free yourself, free the freedom, right? Free yourself from those negative thoughts and help you understand your worthiness so that you can, it's not power, but understand who you are so that you can attract the right people, right? Like that's just a scenario. Okay. So that could, whatever this is, it's in the background. You're not focused on it. So it could come as a shock because you're not focused on it. But just know whatever this is trying to give you the freedom of something that you're not feeling here that makes you understand your resourcefulness and your worthiness and the way that you make your money, because that's the second house. That's Taurus, right? Um, but it's going to show itself here with this eclipse that yes, you are. I am no longer what I thought I was. I am this. That makes sense? Okay. Then at the same time, it's sextiling Pluto, right? And so that's kind of why I was talking about the relationships, because this is Pluto's that psychological wound. Now, remember, we're still dealing with this wound, but this is the psychological wound that's been going on for lifetimes. Okay. And I do have a Pluto series, and I will put that up here so that you guys can watch it if you haven't already. I haven't finished the Pluto series, but you want to go watch like each one of them. They're really good. But Pluto is that psychological wound. So Pluto, so where there is a semi-square here, there is an opportunity here. Uranus, Uranus wants you to understand your freedom, right? Jupiter is trying to give you help you understand abundance, wisdom, optimism, opportunity, luck. Okay. Pluto is trying to help you step into your power, understand your power. Okay. He's trying to help you understand more than that, but it's your power that he wants you to understand. It's your power that he's trying to help you step into. Uranus is trying to help you step into your freedom. Jupiter is trying to help you step into your wisdom. Pluto is trying to help you step into your power. Well, there is a sextile on that day. Okay. And these energies don't stop right on that day. They're going to go on for 6 months. Some of you, it's going to be just 3 months because you're going to be unfolding and then things are going to come in. Unfolding, things are going to come in. Right. And so, stepping into your power, there is an opportunity here for you to understand your power in this area of life in the way that you are trying to identify in this life, in this area of life, right? So, you know how I can give you an example, like, you know how some people can say, oh, she's very blah, 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 blah. And then the other person's like, that's not at all what I know about her. She's this way, blah, 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 blah. And it could be that they know you in different areas of your life, right? So it's this area that you were trying to heal from here so that you could move into here and identify in a new way of the life and the dreams that you have. Okay. So with Pluto here, there is an opportunity that he is going to bless you with, right? Because these eclipses are your destiny. Not because you had to work on it, not because you did it, not because of any of that, just because it's on your path. So there is an opportunity, but I will tell you, because of the lunar eclipse, you're gonna have to relieve something. You're gonna have to let go of something in order to be able to identify, right? And if you watch my other videos, I tried to explain the you that you see in your dreams, like when you envision your abundance and you envision your perfect relationship and your marriage and your children and you travel in the world, whatever this dream is, right? That you have, that's a different you. That's you, but it's a different you than it is right now. That you understands abundance, understands relationships, is healed from that, right? That you has been through this you, right? So the you now is trying to incorporate to get to that vibration, right? That's what's happening with this solar eclipse. It's like it's getting you on your path, right? But there is some closures that are going to have to happen so that you have room in your life to be able to accept these things that are happening, right? Makes sense? And then on that same day, we have this. So this is an opportunity here. This is a gift. It's not a gift. It's an opportunity. You have to take an action, right? And for me, I'm thinking you're going to have to let go of something, right? It's got to be over here. Whether it's to let go of being too critical of yourself all the time, whether it's to let go of trying to control everything, whether it's to let go of being too organized and too strict and too structured and too grounded, right? There's something, it could be that, it could be any of those things, right? Depends on where Virgo is in your house, what sign you are. And then we have this Mars on that same day. Mars is trining Saturn. Now, Saturn is a whole other story that's connected to this story, but this has to do with your destiny because of this solar eclipse going on. Saturn has been teaching us how to bring down, how to make physical, how to structure the things that aren't structured, how to make physical the things that we see in our dreams. That is why I talked about the place that you see your dreams, right? Saturn has been teaching us how to, with our authenticity, with our responsibility, with our faith in ourselves, not in anybody else, with our standing in our truth, right? How to bring those things and make them physical. There is an ending here so that you can make this beginning, right? And with this Mars, we had been talking about Mars while he went retrograde for a month and a half. And I'd said, change the pattern. I don't care which way you change it, just change the pattern. That's telling the universe you want something different. So anything that was happening with Mars, I was like, just if you see the old pattern, change it, make one change, right? Well, now comes that time for that gift because you did that. You were showing Saturn that you were responsible. You were talking to them by your actions, right? And this has to do with this ending. And this is the house where there are no walls, there's no veil, there's anything can come through there, right? It's got Neptune at 29 degrees. That's magic. That's also illusion, and it can also be delusion, right? But it's got the structure of your path, your destiny, your node. It's got Venus retrograde there to make sure that you are attracting and nurturing yourself, right? But with Mars here at 22 degrees, with Saturn at 24 degrees, that's a gift coming for you. Okay. That's something that could be coming because when Saturn gifts you, it lasts, it's structural, it's here to stay. Okay. It's not a fly by night gift that's going to go away. It's something stable, right? So, also, Mars is going to be sextiling Uranus, right? So there's another opportunity here. And all of these are good. This is the energy point where it's going to go forward for the next 6 months and help unfold for you, right? So Mars sextiling Uranus, there's an opportunity here with the old patterns that you've done. And how you're resourceful, but are you protecting yours? Are you not giving away your energy or your time or your whatever? Are you protecting those around you and what's yours? Are you defining what you want to keep and then protect that, right? That's Cancer. That's Mars in Cancer. And that means your feelings. That means your belief about something, right? Whatever it is that you are needing to understand how precious it is for you and want to keep it and protect it and that it is sacred to you, there's an opportunity here and it'll come from these two houses, right? So this all has to do with your understanding of who you are or who you are becoming or which way you're going, right? For this solar eclipse in Aries, right? So there is an opportunity here. It's Uranus, so it can change real quick, and what you think is coming is not coming. It's going to come it may be coming, it's just going to come in a different way, right? So, but it's so that you understand your freedom. It's so that you understand your power, so that you understand the thing that you really think that you are, because with Neptune at 29 degrees in this house being so activated, it's been cloudy for us. We kind of sense it and we're kind of thinking, okay, I'm just going this way because I'm going to trust myself. That's Saturn. I'm just going this way because even if I don't see it, I have faith in myself and I have faith in the universe and I have faith. That's Saturn in Pisces, right? We're not seeing it clearly yet. We're going to, but we're not yet. And so before we can, we're needing to let go of some things because some things are coming for us. This new way that you are, this new way that you believe, understand, want to move, take action, the way that you want to move through life and identify this way, right? There are some gifts that need to come to you in order for this to happen. Well, you have been working on that, and now is the time for the gifts. There, of course, there is a little bit of strain here, right? But that's working with this wound, right? Because we still have this wound we have to work with, right? So, Mars sextile Uranus, there is something changing in the way that you make your money, in the way that you feel worthy and understand better about yourself, in the way that you have your resources or figure out what you actually do value around you. These are physical value, right? Not just this emotional understanding, but this is Taurus, physical. So there's physical coming for you, right? And then we have this square with Mars square Chiron, right? So Mars square Chiron, again, you understanding No, maybe I was wrong. Maybe people in my life when I was younger made me feel like, yeah, I was too much or too loud, or I didn't think like everybody else, or I didn't do like everybody else. And so I had to like mask and adjust and adapt and do what I needed to do to survive. But I'm no longer in survival mode. And that's going to come back around, right? This wound that you've learned, I don't need to do that anymore. I am strong. I am powerful. Um, I am wise and I am free. And it doesn't matter what people around me say as long as I understand who I am, right? That's the Mars that's going to give you, and I am going to protect me. I am going to protect my identity, right? There's this square going on. So it could be messing with you a little, but it's needed. And you have Mars's help right here. Okay. So the way to do the square is to balance this out, right? Now, on that same day, then we have Mercury retrograde, right? He's retrograde and he's right at 0 degrees when this happens. So he's going to quincunx Lilith, right? Remember what a quincunx is. Quincunx is two planets that have nothing in common, but they must solve a problem together. Okay. So this is delayed. This is going to not happen right exactly when you want it to, whatever this message is, whatever this understanding is, whatever this courage is. It could be that you have the courage with Mars, but you're kind of going back and forth and back and forth. And then Mercury finally comes and helps with this Lilith. Lilith, you know Lilith. Lilith and Scorpio. Oh, Lilith's going to stand up and do what she wants, right? And if she has to go deep and understand something different so that she gets the upper hand, she will do that. Okay. If she has to go, yeah, I'll just say it that way. Okay. So there is this quincunx that's happening with Mercury right by the solar eclipse. So there is a way that you're needing to resolve this issue of the way that you want to identify. And because it's retrograde, there could be some delays with it. Okay. But we have the 6 month energy. Okay. So, and then the last one is this Pluto square Lilith, right? Remember, Pluto's helping you understand your power, helping you understand that you don't have to take and carry this trauma for the rest of your lives. You've been doing it for lives. Your DNA, your self having lived other lives, you're carrying the psychological wound that you no longer have to. And so he's trying to show you your power, right? When he squares Lilith, Lilith can go deep and be, especially in Scorpio, and do what she needs to do to get it done. And Pluto's saying you don't have to go to war, but you do have to stand in your power. And there is that back and forth. With Pluto in Aquarius, yes, Lilith, in the past, maybe you had to manipulate, maybe you had to do some dirty things, right? But this time in Aquarius, we're in genius energy. We can do it differently. We can do it together. You don't have to do it alone. You don't have to be secretive about it. The things that are underneath are coming to light so that you see and that you understand that you are powerful. You are powerful. It's just like when you understand that you don't have to be, when you understand, when anyone understands that they don't have to mask and that they can be themselves. Because my way of thinking is personally is like people are going to say and do what people are going to say and do. It doesn't matter what you do. They're going to have their perspective either way. Some of them are going to love you. Some of them are going to hate you. That is not your business or your problem, right? That's how Pluto wants you to see it. It's like they're going to say and do what they're going to say and do. So you might as well just stand in your power and be your authentic self, right? And so maybe with these two going back and forth, Lilith is like, because she's at 0 degrees too, right? These are very powerful degrees. So she's like, if I have to, I mean, she'll have the Gemini kind of thing going on where this is the way I can explain it. I'm sorry, this is my personal way, but it's like, I'll play the game you're playing, just tell me the rules, and then don't get mad when I beat you at it. Okay? It's like, if I have to get down and dirty because you're getting down and dirty, I'm just playing by your rules. That's Lilith, right? Because I'm going to get what I want. But with Pluto, maybe Pluto's like, well, you don't have to do it that way. You can do it a different way. That's why this quincunx. You can work with Mercury. You can be courageous in a different way. You don't have to do it alone. You can think outside the box. You are in use my genius energy over here with um with Aquarius. Understand that you're not the only one, that there are other people going through this too. That you can reach out and get some help, right? That's just a scenario I'm giving. That's not everybody, and it kind of depends on what house these are for you. But basically, for the solar eclipse, there are some wonderful new things that are going to be happening in this area of your life because it just continues from all of this, right? So there are some things that have to change, that have to come into your life, that have to make it different. And then when these two, Saturn and Neptune, come here, that's when the dreams that you've been working on begin to clear up, and then you get manifestations of that. But that doesn't mean that you're not going to get help over here and get some manifestations of that same dream. That makes sense? But you've got things changing here. Okay, so I'll go over the houses very quickly. In Aries, if you're Aries ascending, sun or moon. Okay, if you're Aries, this is all happening in your first house. You had to let something go. And I talked about that in the lunar eclipse. But as you let something go, as you completed something, as you resolve something, you're getting something here. This is your first house. This is your identity, right? This is what's going on. But there's some wound here that's been preventing you from being who you really want to be to achieve the things that you want to do in this lifetime. That's going to begin to clear up. Okay. And then if your Aries is right here, then this Mars is in your fourth house. Like, really, truly, he's giving you the courage. He's giving you the vigor, the energy, the excitement to bring from your most inner self. That's your fourth house. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Your most inner self. He's bringing that out. There's a gift coming about you really truly being who you want to be, and understanding the difference of, I mean, this is your true inner spiritual self. This fourth house is about liberation, right? So your spiritual liberation. So really being who you are and identifying as that is going to be coming forward over here. Okay. If you're Taurus, right, then this is happening in your 12th house. So this is a blind spot for you, but blind spot in the fact that you can't see it with your eyes. But guess what? In the 12th house, Pluto's in my 12th house personally. So some of y'all know this already, but he's teaching me how to use that 12th house, go deeper in that 12th house, bring those things out to light so that I can teach you guys from the 9th house, right? Because Neptune's in my 9th house with Scorpio, right? So I'm learning all about the 12th house, probably things that a lot of people don't know. Unless they've had Pluto in their 12th house, right? So your 12th house, it's almost like instead of just having to see it to be able to do something about this, use your other senses. This 12th house for you has no walls, but it is the 12th house with Aries. So with you having Aries in your 12th house, this is about action taken. This is about taking the initiative, starting something. Right? So maybe you're needing to start it on faith, and then it will come through. And like all of a sudden you'll see it from like all of a sudden it's in front of you, and somebody handed you $1,000, or you got a car from something, or all of a sudden you had no idea that they were looking at you for this new position, but you got it, right? Like something like that where you don't see it, but you're taking initiative anyway. Because you had no idea they were going to give you that position, but you did apply months ago, right? Like you took the action and then you just kind of let it go, right? This is your 12th house. This is what's going on. There's a wound here of you not taking initiative unless you absolutely can see it with your eyes, right? But I think the universe and your growth is trying to tell you, identify more with your spiritual and less, I wouldn't say less with your physical, but learning how to balance your spiritual and your physical. Okay. Now, if it's Gemini, This is in your 11th house. This has to do with your groups and your networking, your investments. How you're coming to understand how you were looked at in your 10th house and how you want to identify in your 11th house, right? And again, you'll be having this Mars in your second is your worthiness, but it can also bring you opportunities to make money, opportunities for valuable things to come your way, right? That's Mars in your second house. But with this area, this solar eclipse, you can have things coming through people, through organizations, um, through your investments, right? This is the house of luck and abundance. So you can have a lot of things coming here as this solar eclipse happens. Or there is a wound about you really being who you want to be here. Okay. So just be sure to be true to yourself. Okay. Now, Cancer, this will be in your 10th house. This is where everybody sees you. This is your reputation. There is something coming through here to help you identify in a different way, to help you. Um, Maybe it's finally that people see you the way that you've always wanted to be seen. And if that means you wanted to be seen as a boss, then guess what? You're going to get that position if you've been working for that. If it's on your path, because Cancer, you're a cardinal sign. You are a boss. Okay. So if it's that you're going to get a better position, if it's that you're going to start your own business, if it's that whatever this is that has to come through to put you on your path and your destiny, that's going to be it. There's a wound here of you maybe feeling like people don't see me the way that I really am. And maybe they never will because you are a Cancer, right? You have that shell on the outside. But when people they know when you love them, you're never going to let them out of that shell. It's like the greatest love, right? So this has to do with your reputation. And then Leo, this is in your ninth house. This is your belief system. This is the modalities, right? This is where you learn modalities. Ninth house is where you learn modalities. 12th house is where you use them, right? But ninth house is where you learn them. Ninth house is also where you teach them. Ninth house is where your gurus and your religious leaders and all of that are. But it's your belief system. It's your understanding. What you're trying to find in the ninth house is the truth of the world. Okay. So Leo, there's something you're beginning to identify or want to identify for yourself about the way that you believe now, right? Coming to this understanding from your eighth house about um, the transformation that's occurred, right? And again, I go deeper into these houses in that video, in each video, because I did 12 videos in my membership for each sign. So I go deeper into these houses so that you can understand what's happening for these two houses till 2026. Okay. And then, so there is something coming here for you, a way for you to, and it could be just an understanding, but I think it's more than that. I think it's like, I understand it this way. My belief system is this way now. And then you get something physical from it. Right. Um, yeah. So some things could probably be coming through. Again, there could be some delays because you have, but we've got this energy for 6 months. So there could be some delays. There could be some misunderstanding, miscommunication, but it doesn't matter. It really doesn't because this is your destiny. This is an eclipse. It's going to put you on there either way. Okay. Now Virgo, this is your eighth house, right? So in your eighth house, this solar eclipse is coming to bring you. For me, I want to say respite. And I don't know why I want to say respite, but this is your 12th, 11th, 10th, 9th, 8th, right? So this is where you make contracts. This is where you understand and transform. Like it's other people's money, but it's also like the deepening of the bonds of you and other, right? And you have this transformation, right? So in the eighth house, I always say the seventh house is where you meet your husband or wife. The eighth house is where you get married and are working on that already, right? So there's something coming for your eighth house. For some of you, it is a partner that's coming from your to your eighth house, right? It's like, whatever this is, it's this gift that's putting you on your path and your destiny. That as you release over here, release control, release over being overcritical of yourself and others, release trying to fix everybody, release that, release the extra overly protective organization because it's a trauma response, right? As you're releasing that and understanding more about yourself and relaxing and being the true healer. Virgo, when you understand that all you have to do is walk in a room and you heal people, you're balanced. Like, you don't have to do anything. You just have to walk in the room. Okay? You don't have to control anything. You don't have to try to make anybody your friend. You don't have to do any of that. You just have to, when you can understand that about yourself, that's what you're releasing, like that over, like I'm overdoing it. I gotta like control it. I gotta make sure I know what's better for them, kind of thing, right? Well, there is something in your partnership that's coming. This could mean like um, the money that you've invested or earned, like it's bigger too. Like these contracts are bigger. It's a gift. It's to put you on your path. It's to, yeah, it's your destiny. It's what you're meant to do. Okay. So, Libra, this would be in your seventh house, right? So, in your seventh house, this is about relationships, right? This is what you come to do is balance relationships between you and someone else, right? So there is a gift here coming. There is not an opportunity, it's a gift. It's your destiny, right? That's coming in the seventh house. This has to do with relationships. But often people think the seventh house is about relationships with people and romance. It's much more than that. It's relationships with all things, your relationship with money, your relationship with things, your relationship with situations, your relationship with people, your relationship with lands, whatever this is coming to help you understand more about yourself. Sorry, yourself, right? Help the seventh house for you is your reflection. These people come to reflect you. Okay. These people, these things, these situations that are in the seventh house, they come to reflect you. If you have been working on yourself, there is a gift, a destiny that's for you about the dreams that you have had, right? About the way that you see relationships. That's what's coming for you. Okay. Um, now, Scorpio, this is in your sixth house, right? So, in your sixth house, Scorpio, this has to do with your health and well-being, right? But like much deeper than that, it's like understanding that your emotions drive your health, and are you really doing what you want to do? How are you identifying here? How are you identifying in your everyday life? How do you how do you work your life? Like, are you overly busy and overly tired, or are you not engaging at all? And this, did you want to try to be what you've always seen yourself to be? Right? There's this wound here that you're having to deal with, but Lilith is in your first house. So with Lilith being here and this being your sixth house, this is having to do with maybe it's time to look at your health. Whatever this is that's coming for you, whatever this gift is that's going to be brought to you, it's going to change your life. It's going to change your everyday life, and it's going to change your health and well-being. Okay? Maybe it's that you finally get the opportunity or something comes through where you're like, yeah, I can work out every day now, or yeah, I can eat better, or I love this new kitchen that was renovated, or I just bought a house. Whatever this is, it's going to be attached to your health and well-being, right? And Sagittarius, this is in your fifth house. This is your creativity. What are you trying to create over here, right? What have you been working on that's going to make you happy? How are you going to express yourself? Whatever this is, as you release this over here, this is coming for you. This is a gift about your dreams and the way that you see your life and this creativity that you're trying to have, right? Or trying to make this happiness that you're trying to have, right? There's a wound here that you're going to have to work with, but it's this happiness. It's this something that you see yourself doing or being, right? This new identity, this new way of life, but it has to do with your happiness and your creativity. It could be that somebody comes into your life, because this is romance, where you get the opportunity and they come into your life and they're genuine and they don't mean you any harm, but you've never had that before, right? It could be that. Whatever is going to make you happy, right? And then my beautiful Capricorns, this is your second house. Sorry, third house. This is your third house. Why am I saying that? This is not your 1, 2, 3, 4. This is your fourth house. So in your fourth house, Capricorn, sorry. I'm still got a mental block with you guys. I don't know what that is. So Capricorn, in your fourth house, this is your most inner you. You have worked so hard with Pluto being here and stepping into your power and dissolving everything and like restructuring everything. And you're in the building part. You're in the I'm going to make everything stable like I've always seen it part, right? There's fear there because you're having to do it that way, right? Do I have the resources? Am I worthy enough, right? There's still Pluto messing with you over here in your second house. But in your fourth house, this is your true inner spiritual self, right? So there's something about this eclipse having you liberate yourself over here, identifying yourself in a new way, maybe finally identifying who you truly are and bringing that out to the world right now. But whatever this is that's going to be brought to you, it's going to help you do this. It's going to put you on the path as you're rebuilding your life. Okay. And then, Aquarius, this is your third house, right? So this is where you research. This is where you learn. This is where you have your siblings and your neighbors and your everyday stuff, right? This is your third house. There is something coming here that's going to change this for you. And you have all this energy here that's releasing, transmuting, letting go, understanding that you are valuable, that you want to do this, that you really were meant to be here. That's Chiron in this third house. Yeah, I may not act like everybody, but I wasn't meant to. And so the wound is nobody's ever going to see me for who I really am, but that's okay because I'm going to do me anyway, right? So there's something over here that's coming for you, that's being gifted to you, that's going to change the way that people see you and the way that you see yourself in your everyday life, in the way that you learn. Yeah. And maybe it's that finally you get supported. You finally get supported. This has to do with the second house too. I feel like for you guys, you're finally going to see the difference and that then you're going to be able to work it here. Okay. And then Pisces, this is your second house. I don't know if I did Pisces or not. Pisces, this is your second house. So there's something about the way that and you're having to let go here over your seventh house, right? These abandonment issues, these betrayal issues, these um, people that are toxic, right? Like all of that. This understanding that you are who you really think you are, right? But then it comes over here. You're trying to identify, yes, I am worthy. I don't have to try to mask and be everybody else. I don't have to neglect my boundaries just so everybody else is happy, right? This is your worthiness. This is, and remember, with Chiron being in your second house, being transiting in your second house, this is about like, I was made to feel like I wasn't supposed to be here, or I was wrong for being here, or I just never fit in, right? And there's a wound here that you're trying to heal and Not completely heal, but get through, understand, work with, right? And then comes this gift of, it could be money, it could be your self-worth, it could be the way that you earn your money. You're going to get something here that's going to show you that you really are who you think you are, and that you no longer have to try to be somebody else to get along in this world. Okay, so thanks everybody for watching. I hope that helps. Again, if you want the deeper dive into all of this, then please consider becoming a member. Just hit that join button down there. It's $4.99 a month, and you can quit at any time. Anyway, have a great, wonderful day. Please like, share, and subscribe. Now that I'm being dubbed, it would be great if you shared my video out to somebody in a different country with different language, because I'm dubbed now on these videos. Anyway, love you. See you on the next one. Bye.